All right, our first guest is a national security analyst, chairwoman of actforamerica.org, and a New York Times bestselling author of Rise in Defense of Judeo-Christian Values and Freedom. Let's welcome back Brigitte Gabriel. Brigitte, really good to have you. So much going on. This really just hit us right front and center. Melania and Barron Trump are the new targets of Iran's anti-U.S. propaganda. Donald Trump, as always, he remains on that list as well. A video entitled How to Kill Melania Trump was released by the New York Post. We looked at it. It was shocking what they did. They show locations where Melania used to shop. She used to spend time in these locations in New York City, naming the designer stores she frequented and calling on, quote, freedom fighters to take action. Your response to this news, and did you see this coming? This just kind of caught me by surprise.
Well, we knew they are evil. The Iranian regime is evil. And we know that they have been sending their infiltrators to our country for decades, not just the last 5 years since Trump became president, but for decades. Iran has been planning and sending its agents into the United States, establishing infrastructure, whether it's through Hezbollah. Remember, a lot of these street vendors you see in New York selling the Louis Vuitton, whatever, baggage and purse and all these these are all owned by Hezbollah operatives. They sell these products on the street. They raise money to send it to fund terrorism in Lebanon and across the world. That's how Hezbollah funds its operations. They do it through selling cigarettes in North Carolina, designer bags on the streets of New York, etc. So they have their agents on the ground, and they have been planning and plotting to kill anybody who opposes them. This is why they have been able to accumulate such details about where the first lady shops, her son, where they go, how they move. Look at the plans that they put out about Ivanka Trump, her home. They had details of the construction of her home, every room, the bedroom, the bathroom, the living room, etc. This is very scary because we are dealing with a very sophisticated enemy that we underestimated for years, obviously under President Obama. But now we have to be careful and we have to be very vigilant and work with our FBI to make sure that the president is safe. And not just the president and his family. You know, Iran targeted many other people, like former Secretary of State Pompeo. They have a lot of people on their list that they are going after.
Brigitte, Benny, A8, look at this picture of Trump, the billboard that, by the way, they're all around Tehran of him in a coffin. And you expect that. They hate him. They've got massive Trump derangement. They just can't stand everything he stands for. He's bombing the hell out of their country. We get that. But when you make the jump, the video actually entices they call global freedom fighters to assassinate Melania, even suggests using nerve gas on clothing the First Lady might purchase. They're giving ways to get to the First Lady. I'm very confident in our U.S. Secret Service, but still, when did the families become involved?
Well, this is how our enemy operates. Remember, we are dealing with evil people. You know, we cannot reflect our values on evil people. In our civilized world, we say, okay, you can talk about the politician, you can hate the politician, you can target the politician. Leave the children out of it. I mean, look, in the years of President Obama being president in the United States, no matter how much people disagreed with him, on the extreme rights, nobody would ever think about killing his children or attacking his children or going after his children. Everybody understood the rules, but these are not the rules that our enemy is playing by. And what is so scary about this, Eric, is the fact that these people can hold a grudge for decades. Remember
Brigitte,
the fatwa
you
that
are hitting on something.
Salman Rushdie?
I was just going to point this out. They're very patient. They hold a grudge and they're very patient. Barron, was he 20 years old or so? He's got a long life ahead of him. He's got to worry about an Islamic Muslim or whatever these crazy lunatic Islamic threats for the rest of his life?
Yes, he does. Because if we learned anything from Salman Rushdie, is they issued the fatwa in the 80s, and they literally tried to assassinate him at Lake Chautauqua just about 5 years ago. This is how long they hold a grudge. But that's how they operate. The guy who killed Theo Van Gogh in the Netherlands and pinned a note on his chest said, "This is avenging Andalusia." We're talking about 550 years ago. Spain used to be Andalusia when the Muslims conquered it and took it from the Christians, and they changed the name of it, Andalusia. And so this is how far back they go with revenge. That's Islamic culture. And this is what we are dealing with. And this is exactly why President Trump, we need to do whatever we have to do to finish this regime, to change the regime in Iran. I know we're not going to do it directly, but we have to create the environment to make sure this happens before President Trump leaves office.
And, you know, Brigitte, it actually makes a case for really cracking down on our immigration. I mean, one of the biggest risks is that these people, they were flooding across the border, right? These were terrorist cells flooding across the border under the Joe Biden era. And then when you close it, that's fine. But a lot of them are here. A lot of them are being radicalized here. Young people who just want something to hang their hat on, something to say they've done. They come across the border and they wait and they learn. And as you point out, they're patient. This is the one of the videos says about Barron, wait for us, the Iranian people. These people are sick.
Yes, they are. And like you said, they are here because even though now we close the border, nobody's coming through the border. President Trump has done a phenomenal job, but they are already here. A lot of them not just came here illegally, but a lot of them came here on student visas and never left. They just disappeared into the country. They are hundreds of thousands of people who are here who came to the country on student visas and they have disappeared into the country from the Middle East, from radical Islamic countries. But we didn't have a government or agent or anybody to go after them. Anybody before Trump didn't even care. This is why we are hoping that Kash Patel and this FBI will go after these people, will find them. This is exactly why we are working with Congress. My organization, Act for America, is working with members of Congress on passing laws that actually will track people who are here in the country who overstayed their visas, or if they lied on their visa when they came into the country, or when they are captured, if we find out that they posted anything on their social media against the United States, that they will be arrested and they will be deported and they cannot come back to the United States. I think they have to wait like 10 years and then start the process legally to enter if they prove that they are worthy of being able to come to the United States. This is why we, the American public, need to understand the enemy that we are dealing with and need to stand behind this president who is doing everything he can to secure the country. We're talking about securing the country and securing our people. You may not agree with President Trump on every single thing he does. You may not like his personality. You may not like the way he has to talk all the time about this, that, and the other, the way you don't do it, or he does it differently. But what we have to agree on is securing the United States and its people for generations to come, because personalities come and go, but policies stay. And this is why we need to make sure we have policies in the United States and bills introduced in Congress that will protect the nation.
I got 30 seconds for you because I want to point this out. President Trump has instructed his military, his advisors, if he is assassinated, he's saying, unleash hell on the Iranian people. What do you think that looks like? About 30 seconds.
Unleash hell will be using whatever at our disposal, whether destroying the country completely or literally if we have to use a nuclear weapon. I don't think it'll get to that, but I know he will make sure that Iran is destroyed if they come after him. I only feel sorry for the Iranian people who are paying the price for this rotten leadership that they have, whether it's the IRGC or it's the dead mullah, maybe decapitated mullah. We don't even know how good he is still put together, this mullah that they have, but we know that the IRGC is in charge. And until we destroy them, the Iranian people will suffer, the rest of the world will suffer from Iranian terrorism.
Brigitte, always good to have you on. Brigitte Gabriel, chairwoman of actforamerica.org, author of Rise. Thank you. We'll get you back on again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.